Hey artists, today we're going to make these amazing tree weaving pictures. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps to make your own tree weaving.
Okay, the first thing we want to do is grab a pencil, and you're going to take one of these templates and you're just going to kind of set it on top of your circle, your cardboard circle. So there's just a little bit of room right there, and you can mark these lines down that I have drawn. So I'm just going to take my pencil, and on each one of those lines, I'm going to mark it on my circle. Okay, got the top ones. There's also two at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the paper up a little bit, and I see these two down here, and I'm going to take the pencil and mark it. Now I can take this template away, and if you look, now I have 10 little lines I drew at the top and 2 at the bottom. We're going to take our scissors, and very carefully we're going to cut a little notch. A notch is just a little drop. We don't want to be cutting this cardboard all the way across. We just need a little space where we can put our thread when we start weaving. So right here, I'm going to cut and then stop. So I just cut just a little notch, and I'm going to do that here. Cut, stop, just a little notch. You can really see on this side. And I'm going to do that on these 10 up here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and you can see I did not cut deep. It's just a little notch, just a little space where we can squeeze a piece of string or yarn in there. Okay, so now we are ready to paint this to look like a landscape. So we're gonna have our sky and some hills here. That's gonna be the background for our tree weaving. Okay, so I'm gonna think about where the middle of this circle is. The middle's right through here. That's where I wanna put the hills. So I might have a hill come up and go down, and another hill that goes maybe a little shorter over here, and then I could have maybe a third hill going across. So there's my hills. It's simple. I didn't make them real sharp like mountains. They're just kind of a soft curved line. So this up here will be the sky, and this down here will be the ground. So if you're wanting to do a sunset color sky, you might use a little bit of pink, red, yellow in the sky. I think I'm going to be sticking with blues. So I'm going to start with some light blue, and just taking my paintbrush, I'm going to add that light blue color. Looking great. Now, if you want to have some blending, you could get maybe a darker blue. And I'm going to go down here by my hills. All right, and then I'm going to fill this in with my darker blue, and then I can blend them together. So I can take this and kind of blend it up, making sure I'm covering all that white space. And then I can get that lighter blue and start to kind of fade them together. Ooh, that's looking really pretty. And maybe you're doing that with some yellow and some pink to make it a real sunset. I'm just doing kind of a afternoon sky. All right. Once you are satisfied with your sky, you're gonna go ahead and wash that brush clean. And you can add some clouds in. So I'm gonna use my white here and just add some fluffy clouds to my sky. Just kind of wiggling my brush around. All right, once you're finished with that, then you're gonna go ahead and add some green down here at the bottom. To be the hills. Now I like to add a little bit of different color on top of the green, so all three of my hills have a little bit of a different hue. So what I will do is put a little bit of green on this one. Then I'll wash my brush off. Get the extra water off, squish it on the side, dry it on my paper towel, and get a little bit of white. And then if I kind of blend it together on my plate, look at that. I'm getting like a really cool light green by mixing that white on top. And then I'm going to carefully color in the rest of that hill. Very cool. Okay. Now I'm going to wash my brush clean. I'm going to do the same thing with this one to make a different kind of green. I'm going to add a little bit of the green paint on here. But then I'm going to wash my brush clean, clean, clean. Touch the side. Get that extra water off with my paper towel. I'm going to grab some yellow and do what we did with the white with the yellow to get a different shade of green. So this is going to be more of a yellowy green. I might turn my plate so I can reach it better. And then I'm going to carefully blend that together and fill in that one. All right. Now I have my sky completed and my rolling grassy hills completed. Now I'm thinking, what else might I see in the countryside? You've got these big wide open spaces, these hills with grass, the sky, you can see as far as you can see. I think maybe I might see a little barn out there. So maybe on here, I'll paint myself a little barn in the countryside. So I'm just taking my red paint, kind of making a square first with a triangle on top. So there's that triangle shape on top, square shape on the bottom, and that makes it look like a little barn. Maybe your barn's a little shorty like that one, or maybe your barn's a little longer, so you'll make it a little bit longer with another rectangle next door. And then you might have the roof come over. All right, there's my little barn. And I might get some black paint. And I can put some roof lines here. Maybe I'm going to put a little door on my barn. Just whatever you're thinking. Maybe you put a little house out there. my little barn. Now I'm thinking, wash my brush clean, clean, clean. What animals might be out in the countryside? Maybe a little goat, maybe a little horse, maybe some little sheep. So I might take this and I can put a couple little sheep running around. They kind of just have a little cloud-shaped body, just a little poof, little poof. Now if they're far away, they're gonna be smaller. And if they're up close, the sheep are gonna be bigger. We'll wash my brush clean. Get a little bit of black. I can put some little sheep faces on there. Little face here, little face there. Give them some ears. And those sheep are gonna need some feet. Got my little sheep running around my barn. Maybe you want to do a little horse. Maybe you want to put a little fence. Maybe I'll put a little fence going right here. Just kind of thinking what would be out in the hilly countryside. Right, I am loving that. So now that you've got your countryside all ready to go, we are going to let it dry, and then we can start adding our weaving materials so we can weave a nice big tree in front of this beautiful background picture. Okay, now that this is dry, we're ready to take our yarn and make our tree. So you're going to take the end of the yarn, the very end, and you're going to put it at the bottom in the little left piece right there, and we'll just tape that on. Right there. Now, you're going to take that and you're going to go up to the very first notch, like that, and then it comes around and out that one, and back down to that left spot. Now we're going to come over here and bring it out the bottom right one, go up, and then the same thing where we come over like that and out the top, and now it's going to come down to the left side. Then we're going to come out the right side and do it again, up, around that and back down. Come down to the left side and then pop it out the right side. Up, come over here, so it pops out of that notch, down to the left, oh, and then comes back over to the right, and then it comes to these last two here. So it goes in, pops out right there, down to the left, pops out the right. Okay, that does not seem to look like a tree. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping gently around the bottom of these to kind of pull them together into a tree. So we're going to go underneath and kind of squeeze them together, put the string underneath. Ooh, that can be a little difficult. Okay, and we're just going to kind of wrap them up. So it's like we're bringing it around and wrapping them together to look like a tree trunk. So you can see when you start to pull, it starts to come together like the bottom of the tree. So we're just kind of sliding it through. Come here, little string, and squeezing it together to make the bottom of the tree. It gets easier the more we squeeze them. Look, it's starting to look like the bottom of the tree. We'll go up a little bit higher. Squeezing those together. So this is like the trunk of the tree. Oh yeah, it's really starting to look like our tree there. Yep, look at that. There's the branches of the tree. There's the trunk of the tree. We might wrap around here a little bit more, and then we'll just kind of tie it to a branch. Okay, and then we can just kind of take it and tie a little knot. And just tuck it back behind. Look at that. We've got our tree growing right in front of this beautiful background we made. So then the last step is to start weaving with the green to make the top of the tree. Okay, now is the weaving time. You could have your tree be different bright colors like fall colors. I'm going to use a bunch of different kinds of green, so you've got a lot of options. The first thing you want to do is you take your yarn and you're going to tie it onto the end. So you put it on there and just kind of tie it on like a little knot. Boop, there, it's on. Now, when we're weaving, you just have to remember this: over, under, and that's all we're doing. So we're going to go over this string, under this string, over that one, under that one, and you pull it through. And we're going to be keeping it up here at the top. Okay, we went under that one. So now we go over this one, under, over, under, over, under. Pull it through, and we kind of keep it up there at the top. Now we're going to go back through to the other side. If we came out under it, now we go over it. We're doing the opposite. If I was over this, I go under it now. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Pull it through. And then you kind of push it up. So now it's just a lot of repeating the same thing over and over again. If I came out under, now I need to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over the top, under the bottom, over the top, under the bottom, pull it through. Oop, if it gets stuck back there, you pull it on out. And scoot it up, 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 up. All right, going back. I'm gonna do it till I run out of my string here. All right, over that one, under that one. Over the top, under the bottom. Over the top, under the bottom. Over the top, under the bottom. Over the top. It's easier to pick it up to go under the bottom. And I pull it through and squish it up. And look at that, we're getting some leaves on our tree now. And I'm gonna do it again. Back around. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Like I said, I like to pick it up to put it under, makes it easier. Over, under, pull it on through. My string's getting shorter, and then I can switch to another color, or I could get more of the same. I like to have some different colors on my tree, for me. Okay, I popped out under this one, so now I go over it. Over, under, over, under, over, under, always switching. Over, under, pull it through, push it up, looking beautiful. Back this way. If I popped out underneath, now I go over it. If this one's over here, I go under. So it's like I'm doing the opposite. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and pull it on through. Push it up. Beautiful. I think probably one more of these. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, pulling through. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and then I might, so it's not just sticking right out, I might just tuck it back under there to hide it. And now I'm ready to add another color. So I got some different greens over here. I also got this one that has like some pinks and greens, and I thought that would be pretty, make it look like it might have flowers on it. So I'll start with this one. So same thing, put it over here, tie it on with a little knot. Boop. And then just kind of hide that underneath. Just kind of tuck it up under there. And we're gonna go back to that same pattern. Over, under, over, under. So over, under. I'm making sure I'm doing the opposite of what happened before. Over, under, over, under, over, under, and then I pull it on through. It's really long when I first start, so there's a lot of pulling. Very cool. Then I slide it up. And I'm going to keep going that same thing, over, under, over, under. So if I popped out on top, now I got to slide underneath. Go over, under, over, under. You might start getting a little faster at it now that you're getting used to how to weave. Then we go back that other direction. Over, under pattern. Maybe you're going a little faster now because you're getting used to it. Picking up the string to go under it, making it easier for yourself. Look at that tree really coming along. I'm going to go ahead and finish with that string, doing my over, under, back and forth. Okay, I finished up with that string. There's a little extra piece, so I'm going to tuck it up underneath. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit more with a different color. So I'm going to, again, take a different color, tie it on with a little knot, nice and tight, tuck that piece underneath. And it's my last couple of rows of over, under, over, under. So I'm gonna go, let's see, over that, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Now, as we start getting closer to the trunk of the tree, the strings are really close together, so I feel like it gets a little harder. We're not gonna go all the way down because we still wanna see the branches of the tree. So we're just going to do a couple more layers and then we are done with this beautiful tree weaving. So we're just kind of finishing up that under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Pull it on through. Whoop. Oh, that green's looking great. Same thing over here, over, under. We just keep going back and forth, that weaving pattern. And then we pull the string through and push it up until it goes together. Over, under, over, under. Going right along in there. Beautiful. I don't want to pull it too tight. I want to leave it loose so I can squish it up there. Push it up. And I think that is finished. I really like the way it's looking. I've got my dark green on the top, and then my kind of greens and whites, and then my lighter green down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that piece off, stick it, tuck it back in up there so it's not sticking out. And look at that beautiful tree weaving. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see the tree weavings that you create.